Bethany Scott here, and welcome to my channel. Today I am hopping in with a quick update. Yes, you can still see my Christmas tree from not this year, or this past year, but the year before. It's still up. It will come down eventually, because I don't know that I want to film with that behind me all the time. But I am officially at my desk, and I can tilt down and show you, hey, clean desk. That doesn't mean everything is put away or in its place yet. But I wanted to give you a brief update of what everything looks like so far. We are running into a small problem, which is we gained space, but not space to hide things. And so the crafty space, while it's larger and you're not bumping elbows to my neighbor, my mom, in her sewing station, I'm also not able to hide things. So things that go unused or not as often used kind of don't have a hiding spot anymore. So I'm going to flip my camera real quick. See, this is what the dream box looks like right now. I don't have my computer yet down here because I'm not able to work as frequently down here yet. But this is my to be played with pile. I keep setting things aside that I'm like, I need to make a video doing that. I put my ink tower down here. It used to be on a shelf, and now it's going to sit by my feet. We'll see how I feel about that. Here's my ribbon and washi tape drawers. Here's my scrap boxes. So things are starting to find homes, but it's not super great. I'm not in love with all of the positions yet. This is the one side of the dream box that's mostly completed. Some of my stamp sets did not go back to where they originally were, so that's why there's actually a giant gap, because I have a pile of stamps, but they're not organized the way that I had it before, so I'm going to go through those individually. But this is my glue side up here, the two glues. Here's my my speckle, or my pops of color, all of those drops, and we have some fancy hot glue and other tapes and stamps down there, which may be gone. I have to decide. I've got my embossing powders here, all of my foam tape, glitter, and any extras don't really have a home. This down here, these are my sprays. I'm not loving where they are right now. This in the middle here, that's where all of my pastes currently are. I am debating getting a box for them individually. And then you have some paper, and here's my embellishments tower. And then my Xyron machines, all of them. I do have them in bulk because I got them really cheap. And I will use those for classes eventually when I get back to teaching classes, which I'm excited to teach in-person classes again. So more of the paper, and then I have my alcohol inks in this drawer, and then my Stellar inks in this drawer, and then my Hoo alcohol ink markers. And then my mom, she has mostly this side. I have a couple of cutters here, but I don't know where I'm going to store my regular cutter. What she had here, this is why that's blank right now, is what she had before was basically just products that were unfinished. So we are moving those to an actual product location versus materials and supplies. And then a lot of her vinyl that she has for specific projects set aside, and papers, her cutting tools, and we have heat guns here, chalk paint, excuse me, and all of her woodworking things and paints for all of the wood things she paints. And then I need to figure out what to do with that, because that bucket right there is the to be fixed pile, meaning my children broke them and I need to fix them. So that is the current status of the dream box. That is the most put together portion of the entire room. Most likely none of that will change or move. We do have empty boxes here, so I have to figure out what eventually is going into them, if we're keeping them or it's going somewhere else. Here is my actual paper tower, which I hope to pare down. I'm going to do probably a paper challenge at some point this year. And then the bottom drawers, these are lesser used items, so that's why the dream box is going to swivel open right in front of it. And then here is my paper drawer cart, and it has my Cricut on top of it. Now, I have not turned on this Cricut, but it did fall off. And so I'm not sure if it's going to work. The Sizzix, it needs to find a home. It does not have a home yet. So that is why it's currently positioned there. This is the tower I had upstairs. I rearranged it, but there are my dies and coordinating stamp sets with the dies. These are my 6x6 paper pads, and then more of the 6x6 paper pads are in each of these. And then my drawer of envelopes, that is a cases of envelopes for, when I sell them or ship them. And then I also have my embossing folders in here, and then my specialty printing papers, so when I print projects for people, my linen papers, all of those are there. Here is my current placement for my heat press, my auto press, and then the little smaller presses are on the lower cart, parts of the carts, and all of the supplies that I use for my sublimation HTV projects. That's all there, my tapes, my gloves, etc. And then currently, this is part 1 of my my foiling cart. It also has projects that I finished in December but didn't quite decide if I'm going to sell them, give them away, or what to do with them. So they're kind of just hanging out in this makeshift cart right now. The cart is kind of falling apart, so eventually I'm going to have to take the wheels off. But the paper cutter that I typically use is right there, so it's accessible, and that's just why I haven't gotten around to figuring out what to do with this cart. But behind it is the actual true foiling cart, which has my Gemini on the top, which I'm still not 100% convinced I'm going to keep. I did get it at a rummage sale for real cheap. It's a Gemini original. It works well. It's just I'm not used to the sandwich quite yet, and I don't know if I'm sold on it over the Sizzix switch. But I have all of my foiling that is not on the black cart behind or in front. And then all of my hot foil, or not my hot foil, my laminator foil is on the bottom here. And then my foil plates are all organized in there too. So there's a lot to do with figuring out if I want to keep those on a cart, if I want to put them into the dream box and replace some of the other things. I'm not 100% convinced that that's how it's going to stay. Over here to the left of the dream box is my sticker tower, which I will hopefully weed through. I aim to give some of the stickers to my children, the ones that I don't intend to use, and then the rest are going to basically be going towards, I'm going to give myself a scrapbooking challenge because I unearthed my scrapbooks that I didn't get to play with in the last 6 years. So over here is the printer tower, and it is going to pretty much stay the same. I do actively use all of the printers. The Sawgrass is the least used printer, mostly because I'm out of ink. And you can see at the very top, I have a box of ink, and I need to replace it. So there is a wall of to figure out where this goes. Are we keeping it, selling it, fixing it, putting it back together? That's what this little plethora of boxes is. That will be a discussion later. And then my mom's sewing station, she's actively been sewing this whole time, so she's the one that's been crafting while I'm trying to figure out life and everything. But we do have all these piles that we have to figure out what to do with on the inside. A container drawer that I have. I love the setup. I don't want to change the setup. Now I just have to find out where the containers are going to go. Same thing with this. This is my faux leather. Everything's sorted according to project and style and type. So definitely going to have to figure out where it's going to be positioned. And then this is the walk-in closet for the blanks. Some of our old household stuff is in here still. Some made products did end up in here in the rush of trying to put things away. So this is not the final say on things, but the faux leather that my mom specifically has for her bags and purses and wallets, that is all that tower, the middle white tower right there. Some of these projects I personally started or did a sample and then wasn't convinced. Some of the projects I wanted to do with my children and just have not scheduled it in our lives. Other projects, the blanks I purchased, I posted, and then sales slowed down once I stopped pre-making them. So I have to decide for myself if I'm going to continue to make them or I'm just going to make them and sell them at discount. But this will be a really cool place to have all those blanks and the basic supplies for those blanks eventually. And there's also my soap making. I make soap for the family. And then the resin art stuff is in here as well. A few of my own faux leather projects did end up in here just because they were already sorted and organized per blank. And then I also have some candle making that I do intend to get into because I love candles and I am that person. I just want to make my own and have my own scents. So here is the wall of gnomes. It has been pared down. This used to be 2 shelves and a giant bin. Now it's been pared down. We're selling a little bit more in the shop. And this is the eyesore. This is the cart that my mom has. She's not sure what to do with, so we're going to figure out what she's going to put on there. Here are boxes of my pre-made products, and on the bottom are her pre-made products that we have ready to go for shows this upcoming year. And then another bunch of blank products that she's not sure. And then you can see there's little bits of things strewn around. Her Cricut has not made it back to its location yet because she needs to sort through things. And then I'm going to just tell myself, this is actually just houseware stuff that I had set up for Christmas, and mostly I think there may be a handful of craft things on this area, but right now I just have to make decisions on what to do with things. And then if you go further, because we're turning basically this whole basement into our office. So here are things that were pre-made for shows, and then our display stands that are in the bottom 2 containers here. I'm not sure if we're going to keep them all because obviously as you learn and grow with the shows you've done, you kind of tend to not do certain display styles anymore. But I will hopefully go through those fairly soon. And sorry for the darkness, one of our lights went out. But here is a cutter trimmer that I have not unboxed, and I got it for cheap locally at a rummage sale, but eventually I will get it. And then here's the plethora of made products and my Stampin' Up! Stamp sets. I hope to figure out if we're flash selling these, how we want to handle them, but obviously you can see this basement is a lot of space, open concept. We do intend to keep the living room area as is, obviously taking down my tree this year, but as a place to relax and hang out. So that will be the backdrop of my videos, at least right now. And then the kitchen table we aim to keep as well. So that's just kind of me telling on what's going on. It's not all thought out. It's not all put together yet. But that's just a brief update of, all of the things that are going on. Let me show my face again. And I was hoping to make this a shorter video. Sorry, I got talking. That's what happens with me. I start talking about stuff and then I get lost. But as I go through things, I'm going to probably do a destash. I will most likely post it on our Facebook page. If I do, I will intend to send out an email. So those of you who are signed up for my email list, look out for an email with a link for the D-stash, because I'm ready for things to go cheap, and I'll probably just do like a flat rate $5 half rate shipping for it, no matter what you buy. So unless it's like over a certain poundage, maybe I'll maybe make it $10 shipping. But yeah, so life is lifing. You can tell I'm just now getting over a cold. I've had it for a little over a week, and it's been frustrating because, yeah, I mean, it's just a cold, but 2 years ago, that cold lasted months and months. So it's always irritating not to be able to be healthy when you want to get stuff done and you are stuck on a couch or in bed or whatever. But I am up and about and motivated to get rid of some things and make some hard, tough decisions about what to do next with certain products. And, some things I have really great ideas, or, I just can't wait to make this, or I made it for one person and then now I have all these other blanks. So just have to make the hard, tough decisions about what to do with that, and then decide, all right, am I going to do more sublimation this year? More faux leather this year? Pick my direction and just jump on in. So thank you all for following my updates. I am itching to get back to crafting. I literally have not crafted. I think it's been over a month now. Yeah, it's been over a month. So it's very difficult because that is a very long time for me to not craft, and not even to make a design. I do have a few people who have reached out to me for designs, but they are not in any kind of rush. So I have not really sat down and actually made any designs lately either. So this is a very drastic shift for me, and I am itching to get back to it. So hopefully I can make a full recovery, get my voice back to not feeling so and share some fun goodness. And I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that being over my head for filming. I had no idea how the lighting looks because I have not set up my camera to test it out yet. So that'll also be fun. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me today. I hope you find the joy in your day, and happy making. Bye.